Welcome to Masterpiece Tarot. Here you'll find timeless messages to guide your soul's awakening. If you're here, trust. You are meant to be. Please show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing. These help support my mission of creating more peace on Earth. Okay, collective. In this reading, I'm going to do a twin flame reading. These are for people who are on a path of ascension with another, and we'll just see what messages want to come through. Okay. Thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to channel these messages for the highest good of the collective. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. I gotta go to work after this. Get ready. Alrighty, Spirit. I've shuffled, but I have not cut, so let's cut the deck. We'll do masculines on the left, feminines on the right. Okay. Our masculines in a Five of Pentacles here. This is like being left out in the cold. And then we have an Emperor. Let's do this so they fit. I'm going to lay them out this way so we can do more. So we've got our masculine. This is the energy that he's sitting in right now, or they. Take the genders as they resonate. You can flip them if you need to. The opportunity here is the Emperor. Okay, so bossing up maybe. The challenge is a Two of Swords. They might be feeling quite stuck in a way, blocked in some way, unable to take action, and an action to take. King of Cups, Father of Cups. The action is to get into your heart center, masculine, if you're listening, okay? And then below we'll do the feminine energy here. So feminine is sitting in an Ace of Wands, passionate new start, some kind. Doesn't have to be in romance. It can be a creative project or just ambition in general. An opportunity here is the Two of Pentacles. So balancing things. There is an opportunity to make a choice perhaps. The challenge is a Son of Wands. This is a Knight of Wands. This is somebody who takes action. It could be moving toward a lover. Again, a creative project. And our action is a Six of Cups. Yeah, Six of Cups. That's a nice one. The Six of Cups is your past life soulmate. Past life soulmate energy. Let's look at masculine a little more closely here. So, masculine is currently sitting in a Five of Pentacles. This could be, feeling a sense of lack or being left out in the cold. We see that this rose has wilted. There's a rose petal falling off. The background is quite dark and bleak. This could be how your masculine's feeling within. Oh my goodness, being clarified by the Five of Pentacles, same card. So, this could be something that's being experienced, a pervasive feeling. This could be like a dark night of the soul type of a thing here. We have the Chariot, but there's movement, there's momentum. There's a sense that, this is a preparation for something. This could be a preparation for reunion in the future. and the Emperor right next to the Emperor. Yeah, maybe it's a preparation for bossing up, okay? Sometimes a dark night of the soul helps us to appreciate things that we used to take for granted. It's also a time where we go within and we do some inner work. We look at shadows. We integrate, things from the past. We make ourselves whole. That's what healing is. It's about wholeness. It's about, embodying all of our potential and having all of the parts of ourselves that we need to work toward those highest potentials. So this is, in the current energy, we have a sense that the masculine is preparing for, a high leadership position. But during this time, there's this kind of deeper dive into maybe areas for growth, things that you'd like to work on. Okay, so the opportunity, the Emperor is being clarified by a 10 of Swords. So that is betrayal. 10 Swords in the back, it's like you're really down bad right there. Okay. But then we've got the Sun. Now this really reflects what we were just talking about, this healing process. I did a reading earlier that really highlighted the healing journey for the masculine too. But what I'm seeing here with this Emperor in the opportunity position, there is an opportunity to look at how perhaps this Emperor has gotten into this situation. Sometimes through our own actions or karma, we wind up in this position, this betrayal, feeling just totally down bad, like it just can't get much worse than that. That's a sense of utter defeat. But with the Sun, the Sun is illuminating, it's warm. There's a sense that this can be illuminated now, okay, for the Emperor. And not only that, but doing so will lead to a victory. All right? It will lead to an increase in happiness. So when you're going through this masculine, if you're listening, the opportunity in here is to remain optimistic about the process that you're in. It can be, it's not uncommon for somebody going through the dark night of the soul to feel despair, a sense of despair, a sense of, just helplessness, a foreboding sense that, my life is over. It could be like an ego death too. But understand that, at the end of the integration process of the healing journey, you are renewed. You will feel like a child again. You will have your innocence restored in a way through your work, your hard work. You will be victorious. This inner work is like doing battle. It feels like war, okay? It can feel like a war raging within. But we see that there's an opportunity through doing the work to be victorious and level up into this powerful leader. Why is the Two of Swords? Sorry, those are Wands actually. The Two of Wands. Okay, the Two of Wands is actually about choice. The Two of Wands, in the traditional deck, we see somebody they've made a choice, as a matter of fact. They've selected one of the wands. They have their hand on it. And they're looking out. So there's a sense of planning, okay? Now, this isn't a challenge position, so it could be one of a few different things. You could, be in a position where you'd like to make a choice. However, you understand that at this moment, with you being in this Five of Pentacles energy, not feeling good at all, feeling like at your lowest, you can't really do much in the way of planning. You're just feeling too low. It could also be that, you would like to make a choice, but you're not in a position to make a choice because you're not in a position to use your mental faculties to figure out what the best choice is. Now, you might be making choices that are completely self-serving right now because you need to be doing that. So as far as choosing something outside of yourself, that might be more difficult. You might just have to stick to the straight and narrow and what the known while you're doing this deep dive, this healing work, leveling up work. Let's clarify. We've got a Page of Wands, we've got a Five of Cups, and Strength. Yeah, so you're looking at what you would like to do, but you're not doing it. Why? Well, number one, you're in the Page energy, but also you're doing this deep dive. You're dealing with a lot of grief. You're dealing with a sense of loss. We could be, as we shift and grow, we outgrow situations. We have to recalibrate. The opportunity here is that, there are two cups standing behind you, but at the moment you might be feeling like all you can see are these three ones that are spilt over. Okay. And, the Strength card could represent the challenge, in being and feeling strong enough to handle what's happening right now. The dark night of the soul, if you're really going through it, it can feel like your life is ending. There can be a lot of anxiety. The energy itself can be very, very strong. And, knowing you need to meet that darkness with strength can feel like you're not even sure if you've got the strength to deal with it. You might be wanting to, avoid. You might want to choose. Part of the challenge is choosing to do the hard thing, choosing to face in rather than looking outward for distractions. And then we have the King of Cups here. This is that loving masculine energy. This is the action to take. Right off the bat, I'm going to say love yourself. Father yourself right now. Okay, treat yourself the way a loving father would treat yourself, which is with, a lot of understanding, a lot of empathy. Have empathy toward yourself. Recognize that what's happening is natural. It's for your highest good. Many people have endured and grown from these experiences in the past, and that's what your father would probably tell you. All right, we have a Four of Swords. We have a Nine of Pentacles and an Eight of Wands. Yeah, this fatherly energy here is wise. He understands when you need to rest, when you need to give yourself that extra nurturance, give yourself that extra time to meditate, okay, to just allow yourself to be at peace within your body. Okay, you don't have to be out here doing. And in fact, when you're healing, it's actually really beneficial to slow down, rest, meditate, all that stuff. This is remember who you are, masculine, with this Nine of Pentacles. You maybe have lost love. You may just simply be single. You may have been left out of something, may have been left out by a group, or you may have had to walk away from a group. You may feel in some ways like the color in your nature is draining from you, like the things that you once loved to do, you're not loving to do. The qualities that you used to hold that people loved about you, or that you loved about yourself, or aspects of your life that brought joy. That in the moment they may not be bringing so much joy. You may not be feeling those positive feelings. But again, trust that as you move through this process, you will be remembering who you truly are, which is this sovereign, independent, abundant, beautiful person. It's who you are at the core. Deep down, this is who you are. And here with this Eight of Wands, you could be working hard, working fast. This is a fast energy. And I think that's okay, because I think what the King of Cups would say is, do what feels right to you. Do whatever is going to feel supportive to you. So if it's resting, do that. If it's taking action and saying, sending quick messages or taking action quickly, okay to do that too. Like, honor yourself, honor your process, love yourself enough to follow your intuition, follow your own inner guidance. Okay, so I see that masculine right now is simply going through some kind of a big, could be an awakening, could be a dark night of the soul. They're kind of interconnected. Now we'll do the same thing here for feminine, then we'll see if we can understand the energy between the counterparts. I'm already getting that this might be a difficult time for masculine, you, to be in a close connection with another. I mean, just from personal experience, when I'm going through something like this, I tend to want to isolate, be in that Four of Swords. I need to have autonomy to move around the way I need to. It's just part of the ascension process. Alright, so now feminine, for you. Alright, well, whatever is happening for you, you're quite anxious, you're up in your head, you might not be sleeping well. Queen of Swords. Yeah. You may be feeling like you're wanting to cut things out. Okay, you're trying to get to the truth, you're wanting to cut things out. You may be using your words to do that. Most likely you are. Because you recognize that something is harmful, it's hurting you. Here, you're feeling real up in your head and anxious, and that's not such a good feeling. And then we have this Three of Wands. Yeah, you might be looking to expand in new directions at this time. That in and of itself might be causing you some anxiety, because you know you love this masculine. You know that you have this twin flame out there in the world somewhere. And there could be a feeling of guilt. There could be a feeling of, uncertainty. But you know that what would serve you best right now is to have some kind of a new start, a passionate new start. So you might channel this energy into creative things right now, feminine. If you're not wanting a relationship, you might channel it into, a relationship, if that's what would make you feel good. Okay, and just know that that does not diminish the connection that you have. It doesn't have to. You don't have to allow it to. But at the same time, I think, like, twin flames, oftentimes, at least the conventional wisdom is that these relationships can be so fraught and challenging because they hold the mirror up to the self that it almost taints the dynamic. So the twin flame is sometimes thought, some people are more oriented towards reuniting with their twin. Other people recognize that this served a purpose, but it was really toxic, and it's going to be really a lot of work to get past it. And either way is okay, all right? There's no, right way to do the twin flame journey, if that's what you want to call it. At the end of the day, you just need to listen. Tune in to spirit and listen and follow the guidance. The opportunity here with the Two of Pentacles is the Temperance Angel, an Ace of Cups. Yeah, just what we were talking about here. You've got a choice with the Two of Pentacles. Okay, you may be balancing. Maybe you're balancing two things, what we were just talking about. Maybe it's a new opportunity in love with the Ace of Cups, or holding on to this heavy burden with the Ten of Wands. You might be going back and forth. Should I have a new start? Should I hold on? New start, hold on. And again, that theme is reflected here with this angel pouring the water back and forth between the two cups. There's a heavy choice element here in these cards. But that's exactly what the opportunity is. Make a choice. Or juggle the two things, You don't have to make a choice. You can hold both at once, just like the angel's doing. Alright? And remember, this angel represents peace and harmony. Sometimes that's the most harmonious thing you can do, is to hold both possibilities for now, until maybe you gain more clarity. But I think do realize that there may be two options that are like this, right here. You gotta honor and do what's best for you, feminine, most definitely. Now we have this Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands comes in a passionate way. He wants to get things done. He's a doer. And so for you, feminine, this could be a challenge. There could be somebody like this coming into your energy as you're trying to heal. Alright, as you're trying to balance what you're trying to balance here. Yeah, you've had to cut something out, and so there could be another individual, or this could be you wanting to take fast action, but at the same time realize that you're realizing perhaps that maybe you're just not ready either. Maybe you don't have enough information, you haven't done enough healing, there's not enough, time that's passed. Okay, and now we have a Six of Pentacles, a Knight of Pentacles, and a Four of Wands. Yeah, so the challenge might be, you might be challenged by some element of equal give and take. Alright? Are you giving equally to self and to other? Are you receiving equally to what you're giving? Do you have the capacity to give to the degree that somebody else, in a way that's fair and balanced for the other? And that is the equal give and take and reciprocity is absolutely necessary for a Four of Wands to be successful and secure. The challenge might be that, maybe with this Knight of Pentacles here, this is like somebody who's young, they're taking action, they're very focused on building in the material world. This could be you, feminine. So you could find it difficult at this time to balance your career demands, maybe, with another, maybe with your twin flame here. Or this could be somebody else. It could be your masculine that we're doing the reading with, or it could just be somebody else completely. There could be somebody else wanting to partner with you in the material. There could be somebody else who sees you as a viable partner. somebody that they would like to and believes that they could build a successful home with or marry, marriage. And so with the Son of Wands here, there's a sense that the action is happening now. You might feel like you need to decide now. And that, that might be the case. You might feel like that's what I need now. That could be challenging if you're deeply attached or connected with another, with your twin flame, for example. It could be hard to let go. And now we have another Ace of Wands here in the action to take. Okay, well, let's see here. Wow, and the Six of Cups is being clarified by the Six of Cups. Just in the last part of the reading, just as the Five of Pentacles was being clarified by the Five of Pentacles for the masculine. Well, let's read this and then I'm going to combine. We'll look at the connection. So we've got Six of Cups bookending this energy. What I'm seeing is that perhaps, sometimes with twin flames, there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of physical. That's very phallic, right? The wand there. And because this is like a past life soul connection, there could be this continual taking action on this, and then this continual feeling of, I'm a wounded warrior now because of all of this. If you take this 9 and this 1, you wind up with the 10. And the 10 of Wands is like the heaviest burden. You have to lay it down. You have no choice but to lay it down. So this could be not a bad thing. Sometimes you go into a separation even because that is interfering with the spiritual aspect of the connection with this soulmate or with this twin flame. Twin flames kind of are soulmates, right, in a way. They're the closest kind of soulmate. The kind that sometimes repel each other. Like they're not ready to come together, so it's very hard to stay together. Yeah. So the action to take, I think it's surrender to, this, whatever needs to happen because of this dynamic. It's okay. Your soulmate or your twin flame is going to understand. They're feeling the exact same thing that you are. They're missing you, you're missing them. But you also know the pain of this cycle. It's so interesting to me that we got these twin cards in the very first section and the last section. This kind of confirms to me that this is a twin flame reading, or a soul, high level soulmate connection where there's very close alignment. And what I'm getting here, feminine, is that your decision of taking action, it might be a separation, okay? Your choice to take a separation. And I say that because I'm looking at how your actions are perhaps affecting this masculine. It might be leaving this masculine feeling this way, right, out in the cold. But that is by design. That is what the twin flame journey is meant to do. It's by design. Why? Because this type of journey is meant to assist another soul's growth for their own spiritual growth. So your choice perhaps to take a separation because this is untenable for some reason. Maybe it's circumstances in your lives. There could be other romantic partners or spouses, or conflicting family dynamics or something like this. It causes you to have to move in a certain way to be true to yourself. This could really be leaving the masculine feeling this way. And interestingly, in this spread and in this overall spread, we see that the result of this separation and this dark night of the soul is a leveling up for the masculine, leveling up into the emperor status. Now, when somebody is an emperor, they do what they want to do. They are not constrained in the way that perhaps we're imagining them to be constrained here as we were talking about this little setup here. They can choose to do what they want to do. And they're an emperor. They're not, if they want to do something that's unconventional and they have people that are okay with it, let's say it's your partner, or let's say it's a lifestyle, I don't know, it's something, well, the emperor can do that if they want, and that's that. I do think, though, that on a twin flame journey, if there is to be reunion, then certain things do have to align, for that to be successful. And everybody comes to those points along the spiritual path that are universal in their own time. So we do have a lot of doubles out here. We have 3 that I can see right now. Pardon my yawns. All right. So let's look at the connection here. We'll draw like one more little set of cards here so that we can kind of understand the actual dynamic between these energies. So currently, between masculine and feminine, in their current, main energies, let's get a connecting card here. The King of Swords. So this is an element of holding fast to one's morals, holding fast to one's own truth, whatever that may be at this time, and cutting out anything that does not serve you as an individual at this time. So indeed, this would support the idea that there could well be a separation between you two at this time. All right, now let's see about this opportunity. How does the opportunity to level up as a emperor for the masculine relate to the juggling that we see, this balancing act that we see this feminine doing here? As we've got another king, a King of Cups. Okay, the opportunity is for self-love. All right. So the act of self-love for the masculine here, the potential, the opportunity is to do this healing work, to get those swords out of the back, to look at it, to regain that sense of optimism and innocence in the sense of possibility. Feminine loving herself right now is to make a choice if that feels right, or to continue to balance things. And those both are acts of self-love for these two people. All right. Now, the challenge. Challenge for the masculine is the overwhelming nature of whatever the dark night of the soul that he's going through. Coping with his grief, facing this strong force that the spirit might be bringing through here. And for feminine, it's contending with, again, it's actually contending with this wand energy, this passion, this ambition. It could be ambitions too, you know. It could be that feminine is feeling like a strong desire to have this home, this secure family set up. And there could be somebody, again, that's coming in. All right, so balancing all that out, it can be challenging. So now what's the energy between the two here? Page of Wands. Okay. This is somebody who's really thinking about a lot of different things. Maybe trying out new things in a solitary way or in a studious kind of a way, like considering how one might move ahead, considering the things that one might decide they want to do. Let's see something. No. I think the challenge that exists between the two of them is a sort of a lack of experience. You know, with pages, there's a sense of possibility. And so the masculine might be looking at the possibilities of, if I do this healing work, you know, what will my life look like as I'm becoming, you know, when I become an emperor, what could my life look like? And for feminine, it's like, if I choose a new path, if I choose an Ace of Cups, right? And maybe this person that you're thinking about choosing embodies some of this temperance energy. Maybe they're quite angelic. Maybe they've done a lot of their healing work. You know, this is embodies kind of the healing or healed energy. We're all kind of fallen, right? And then we heal, we rise up. So this could be somebody that you're looking at, feminine, who can bring this cup and truly create this with you now or on the timeline that you need. And there's a sense that it's completely possible right now for you. You know, if you're healed and ready. So again, that's another thing that highlights a pretty big difference in the energies right now between the two. Actions, actions, actions to take. So we've got justice, the balancing out of the scales. I'm seeing something else here that I didn't mention before. And you know, we have twin flames, but we also have soulmates. Sometimes relationships with soulmates are easier. You know, maybe you've already encountered a twin, or maybe it's just not that fraught of a relationship with a soulmate. And I'm seeing for feminine that this could be here. There could be a soulmate here in feminine's energy that holds the potential to be, you know, a really happy union. You know, 1 plus 9 equals 10, and 10s are just as great as they are not so great. I mean, it's a heavy burden, but it's the end. You're going to lay them down, and you're going to start over. And so for feminine, there is a sense that you could be taking action on this right now, feminine. You know, and this could be some kind of justice. You know, I don't know what all happened here between the two of you necessarily. It's going to be different for everybody. So that could be your justice in all of this. For masculine, I think the justice is reclaiming some sense of self, some sense of self-love. Okay, it's an opportunity here to reclaim a sense of divine masculinity, maybe. You know, we all have father and mother wounds to some extent. And it could be an opportunity for masculine with this meditating and this remembering who they are and doing whatever they need to do, okay, to bring about this self-love, this, to embody this energy. Because if somebody's going to become an emperor, they absolutely need to master the Father of Cups. And so the justice in all of this might be that during a time of separation, because that's what we're getting here, that this is a time to kind of recalibrate within self for masculine. And that can be justice too, you know. We're not obligated to stay with or be with anybody. If it's not healthy for us, we have every right to move apart and deal with whatever it is that we need to deal with. And that goes for both masculine and feminine. Okay? Most definitely. And last but not least, we'll get a couple of messages here and we'll wrap up, okay? Let's see here. Check-in. When you think about whatever it is that you're pondering, take a moment to check in with how you feel about it. Do you feel lighter or heavier, excited or filled with dread? Pay attention to your inner guidance. It's always so helpful. One more, please, Spirit. One more of these message cards. Pardon my yawn. Pause. You're being asked to pause before making a quick decision and moving forward. Allow yourself to step back, look at all of the possible outcomes, and make sure you're heading in the right direction before moving forward. Alright, so separation can be hard, but it does serve a purpose, and we don't want to sabotage that by making impulsive choices. It is in separation that I think significant growth can occur. It's very much a spiritual thing. Okay? Alrighty, those are your messages, collective. Hope they were helpful. Bye for now.